they have friends, and you know, friendship is predicated on reciprocity, even among chimpanzees. And so if a predicate of power is reciprocity, then that's one of the things that alleviates the dictatorial tendency. So anyways, so my point is, when a great civilization emerges, it emerges from the amalgam of tribal groups, and each of the tribal groups has their own ethic, but that ethic isn't, the ethics aren't entirely separate from one another. That's why tribes can trade, because they do trade, they interact with one another. It's kind of half. I remember, here's how heretofore separated tribes begin to trade, because you don't know, you meet each other across the river, and it's like you got your bows and arrows, and someone makes a mistake and it's like warfare. And so, but you don't want to start the damn war because maybe you'll die, so you're sitting there with your bow and arrows watching these guys, and now you know they're there. And so then you go back to your tribe and you think, oh man, what the hell are we going to do about this? And one solution is, well, let's find out where they are, and then we'll go in there at night and we'll kill a bunch of them, or we'll wipe them out, or something like that. Or another solution might be, did you see all the neat stuff they had? And so then what do is you find a border area, and you go and you put some things out there that are valuable, and you run away, and then you watch from the trees, and you see what happens when these other people discover these valuable things that you left there. And if they're like a little on the psychopathic side, they pick it all up and giggle and run away, and that's the end of that. But if they have any sense, what they do is they leave some cool stuff on the ground too, and then they run off, and then you can go pick up their cool stuff and leave, and then it's like step one in the trust process. And then maybe you do that, you know, for a year, and it starts to fall into a cadence, and then maybe, you know, you get a little closer when you're watching in the bush, and then maybe one day you have enough courage to kind of you send your biggest, ugliest guy out there, and you know, they do the same, and you know, they look at each other, and finally they shake hands or something like that and trade, and then, well, then you've got a trading relationship established. And so you can see in that the emergence of a, what would you call it, negotiated, consensual, moral structure that allows trading to take place. And there's going to be rules emerge right away, which is, well, you better leave me something that's of approximately equal value, or I'm not going to play the game again. That's the thing that's so cool, is that if we only play a game once, I can do whatever I want. And so that's what psychopaths do. They play a game once, and then they go play with someone else. But if we're going to play the same game over and over and over, it's like the dominance hierarchy across time. There's a different rule for playing a game once than there is for playing a game 1,000 times. And if we're in a relationship, the game we want to play is one that can be duplicated 1,000 times. And there's really tight constraints on that. And so that's the origin, that you could consider that the biological, it's not even biological exactly, it's predicated in biology, but it's a consequence of continual interaction. The ethic emerges. It's like the rats that I told you about, that, you know, the rats that play with each other. The big rat has to let the little rat win 30% of the time, or the little rat won't play anymore. And so because the little rat, that's the biological framing, the limitation is the little rat doesn't want to lose all the time. That just produces negative emotion. It's not fun, it's not motivating, so why would the little rat go play again? So the constraints on our interactions are our biological constraints, and they manifest themselves in a patterned way across time.